Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. It is not a joke. They came for our guy Eagles. They came for our guy Pete Overzet. They came for Chess Liam, and now they have come for Neumy. They have taken away the 2. This is not fair. This is not fair. We're putting out a petition, Neumy.
Not only have they taken away the 2, they're taking my 101s. The first time I see a picture of this or screenshot of him, the dude has a 101. Or honestly, she, but still, whoever took this, it's just like, it's tough. It's tough. But I guess the spin zone I had is everyone talking like, is this the is this the real Evan Silva? Is this really Evan Silva? Now it's going to be, we're going to give people, I'm drafted with Neumy, and be like, oh, that's not the real Neumy. It's like,
it's kind of hilarious that like Neumy was available, but you still went for Neumy too. Like, I love that.
Right.
I love that.
Commitment to be the second. Right from the jump, he's like, "Yeah, I'm the second best Neumy available." Like I'm leaving that for the best Neumy, the real Neumy.
My favorite number was 2 ever since Denard Span. It was Roman center field way back in the day, and I'm like, that's my number. So every sport, anything was always 2. So
okay.
Yeah. No, I immediately was just like, you know what? I know my place. I'm going to put myself right in the second, right there in second. Someone else can go ahead and take the OG, which now they have. But it's funny because I asked, I'm like, is that a no badge or a badge? And I'm like, it better not be. This has just been Robin for a long time. And no, it's like a no badge. So it was just created.
Okay.
So for those who don't know what we're talking about, just to set the context of it, because honestly, Neumy sent a screenshot this morning of Neumy with the 101. He sends a screenshot with Neumy with the 101 with Justin Jefferson. And I was like, dude, congratulations. He finally got one and didn't pick up on it. Then he sends another screenshot of this roster. And I'm like, holy shit, he got a triple Viking stack. Like, Neumy's buzzing this morning. And then Nez brought it to my attention that it's Neumy, not Neumy2. So this is elite, man. This is up there with the Checkers Liam. This is up there with the Pete Underzed. This is up there with Bagels. Like, this is a very elite specific troll job where it's not just the namesake. It's also ripping all of his Vikings. This is a beautifully executed move by a member of the community.
Dude, GA and Nez had the same just no idea reaction because Nez just goes, I'm like getting trolled. I put it, Nez goes, let's go. I'm like, okay, that's a weird reaction.
I thought you were getting trolled as if you're like, I can't believe it. Like you thought that it was like unbelievable.
Yeah, and then I post the full thing and he's like, oh, and he just goes, oh, and I'm just like, and then you're like, nice. I'm like, these guys know what's happening right now?
No.
And then he comes back with, I did not realize that wasn't you. GA posts on freaking Twitter like, oh, like I wonder where he gets his ideas, only to literally come into Discord and be like, had no idea that wasn't actually him too. So yeah, that's honestly been like the funnier part to me is no one's even understood that anything even happened. But
does anybody in your family go by Neumy? Like,
no. I got called Neumy by my like 5th or 6th grade basketball coach. No, my like a basketball coach. And he literally just went like everyone called everyone by like their last name, and he just didn't like the way Newman came off, so he just called me Neumy.
Yeah.
So he just knew me. And then I was funny and thought that when I was in like 2 years later, it came up with a gamer tag that was "If only you knew me."
Yeah, that was great. That was elite.
Yeah, so I made up with that, and I know I've just rolled with it. So like I have everything. It's just knew me. So no, my dad, his account is Wally the Beer Man. So
the beer man.
Quick story to that.
Be the best screen name out there.
There's a beer vendor from way back when in the Metrodome. My dad would go to every single game, and whenever he'd go, he'd sit in the same section. There'd be the same beer vendor, and he would just name him Wally, and he would just hook him up. And that's what he told me. So
that's so sick.
Whenever he made his first fantasy football name on like Yahoo way back when, he was like Wally the Beer Man.
Dads love like niche inside jokes that nobody else gets. Like it's. My dad would always go by like Sly Macintosh because it was like because it was the name of a he did like travel ball for like college players like back in the day. And one of the guys' names that was at this place in Florida where they were playing a tournament, his name was Sly Macintosh. He thought that was the coolest name ever. So that's what he made all like back in the day. His fantasy football names and his poker names were always Sly Macintosh. But nobody knows
Nobody knows the origin story. Yeah, nobody knows.
Probably cool too. You see that name, like Slime. That's a cool name.
It does sound pretty cool. It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Man, this is elite though. Big respects to whoever did this. Hopefully, it is the newest YouTube member, Nick Stevens. If it is Nick Stevens who did this, you're a legend for 2 reasons this morning. Appreciate the support. Appreciate signing up for the membership there. Let's talk a little preseason, but let's do it while we draft. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm in an absolute mood. I'm rolling this weekend over into the Underdog streets. I'm still in full-fledged party mode right now. Let's just hop right in to BBM1V.
Let's go. I saw you were
oh my god!
Oh, look at this. You're just running so pure today. You were at a wedding this weekend, is that right?
Yeah, we were at a wedding this weekend. It was a really nice mix of friends you hadn't seen in a while and family, so had a good time there. They did a kind of a cool thing that I'd never seen at a wedding before. In the evening there at about 11:30 midnight or something, they turned all the lights off and gave everyone glow sticks and had a mini rave at their own.
That's awesome.
Yeah, put on some EDM music and just swinging with glow sticks. I made like a necklace out of glow sticks. I was putting them in my hands, going like this shit, like fake ass rave, bro. It was a really fun weekend though. Yeah, and then there was a golf tournament yesterday, so it was a good spillover. It's fun.
You stripe them?
No, we came second. It's actually kind of annoying. We played from the tips on the whole front because we were like, hey, we got to play for your cap, play from the spot, whatever. So we played from the tips, expecting everybody else to play from the tips. We get on like hole 12 and it's finally back-to-back tee boxes. And they go, dude, why are you guys hitting from the tips? I'm like, what do you mean? We've been playing from the tips all day. So, I mean, we were 3 under on the front. We could have been way lower if we were playing in a good spot.
Oh, wow.
Who do you guys like here? CMC, Tyreek, Cooper Kupp, Bijan this weekend was a little nice.
I mean, I like CMC, Hill, Kupp. Like, I like all of them. So it's really what you want.
Pick your poison, boys.
I have a conviction of Christian McCaffrey here.
Let's do CMC. Yeah, I don't think we've always passed over.
I really do think, man, given the ADPs of wide receivers right now, like get the back-to-back years of being 101, 102 running backs in drafts. Get them now. Yeah. And you can still respect the new market of wide receivers being just insanely pushed up by, we could potentially go back-to-back wide receiver here, but it just gives you such I just think it's a really smart way to play the new landscape. I think we're everybody, including myself, is just very used to the new ADP landscape with wide receivers being this pushed up, and then listening to podcasts that aren't best ball focused, listening to Best Ball Data Bowl, people talk about these new ADPs and how if by strict ADP this year, this BBM4 ADP would be like the 10th heaviest wide receiver room in all of BBM3. Like this is insane. And one of the ways to combat that, I think, is by leaning into the elite running backs in round 1. And I would push up even Bijan and Eckler into top 5 range. Get that being said.
Okay.
That's kind of what conclusion that I've come to this weekend.
Yeah, so the conclusion being that anchor running back is playing better now all of a sudden because we've all just capitulated to piss boyism.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could see it for sure. Some friends and family in this draft, although I don't think it was planned, but Paul's in here and Jesse's in here. So good to see that a couple people still made it in, even though it's snap filled there. Let's talk about Bijan for a second, because they did kind of like the hat tip to in the same version that DJ Dallas got the start the other day and Myles Gaskin got the start the other day. They gave Tyler Algier the start with the starters in the first second preseason game there, but he was quickly supplanted and Bijan played 12 out of the next 15 snaps, which led for like 12 out of 17 with the starters. I don't think there's any concern there whatsoever. And I think it's just kind of like, despite what they say about, hey, hot hand and this kind of bullshit that they might run with, Bijan just seems like, he seems like such a smash right now.
It'll be funny if the split is not like 55-45 like we expect, and it's like 75-25 in favor of Bijan, because if that's the case, you're looking at a top 3 pick for certain, for absolute certain. If Bijan gets 75% of the snaps, he will end up paying off his ADP and then some. You just really don't see that level of snap shares, so that's just like pure, just like what if. It's a hypothetical, but I believe his snap share in the preseason was something close to that. Like, yeah, he may not have gotten the first start or the first rep, but he was on the field for like 70% of the ones. So if that's the
12
case,
12 out of 17 reps and 12 out of the 15 after those 2 honorary reps,
Yeah, man. If that's indicative of his regular season usage, then we are too low on Bijan Robinson. That is just pure and simple.
And that's weird to say for a guy who has an ADP inside the top 10,
It is. But like, that's just, I really do like to get the perspective of non-best ball poison brains like ours, because when you talk to everybody else that plays fantasy football, they just can't believe that running backs go this late. It really is just, I'm trying to respect everybody's thoughts on this while also understanding that if you don't respect the market, you can also end up with a really shitty team. So trying to balance that out.
Yeah, that's what Raise It brings up in the chat here. I haven't read all the way through this, but I imagine that's the exact point he's making here, is that he hears you and he wants to take them early, but the issue is you just feel like so far behind, and the best players available through those 9 and 16 ranges are running backs. So it does feel like you're forced to capitulate. There's twofold to this. I think we like to think that we know what the best picks are and what the best plays are in rounds 9 through 16. That might not be actual fact. What I can tell you in the first 3 rounds is that if Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor, the 101 cohorts of last year, play anywhere near what our expectation was for them last year, they're going to be the guys you need. So I want part of my portfolio to be representative of that, not necessarily the speculative ones that we think 9 through 16 are the best picks, right? In quotation.
And you can still take those with an anchor as well, right? You can
make
those bets while also having your running back 1 be the 101 of years past.
Yep. We're about to be on the clock here. The CMC one. There's 2 more points about Atlanta that I have on my note sheet here that I want to make after, so don't let me forget, because I do this and then sometimes I'll rewatch to see how bad I was that day to see if I can improve my behavior, and I never improve. But but I just want to make sure we get back to them. Derrick Henry staring us in the face. We could go the wide receiver route here, or we could do what you were talking about with Taylor, though Taylor does fall to the 3rd. We might want to leave ourselves with that.
One of these 3 wide receivers for me.
Yeah, you take it. That's fine.
Okay. It's very interesting to see Calvin Ridley's move. Are you more hesitant to click Calvin Ridley's name right now, knowing that 4th round Calvin Ridley exists with like the 12-13, like the 112 combos? Are you guys like playing that kind of meta in your mind, where it's like, I know Calvin Ridley exists on like some super teams on that side of the board, I don't need to take him up here?
For me, it's more so not the closing line value others have capitalized on, but it's more so like I think we should probably be anticipating Calvin Ridley getting off to kind of a slowish start. Like, I think we should probably temper our expectations and expect him to ramp up as the season goes along. And obviously we're playing for the end of the season, but by taking Calvin Ridley, in my opinion, I do think you should probably be considering going a little heavier at wide receiver following that pick, to just in case he gets off to a slow start out the gate. He hasn't played football in a year and a half.
Yeah. One thing I'd push back on that is at least it wasn't injury related. So there's that. We are faced with the Calvin Ridley versus Jonathan Taylor decision. There's 2 big talking points in the community right now about both these ones. Who do you guys like here?
I would go JT or DK, honestly.
Over Ridley. I like I like DK or Calvin. You want to go JT?
Let's do it. I liked your thesis from the start of the show that the 2 101s that we from last year, like blah, blah, blah. I want to build this and see what happens.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy that you can just like do that and also take a wide receiver detour in the middle before you even take that that other 101. Like it just, you show this start to somebody last year or 2 years ago, and they're like, "How the hell did you get that? Like, what are you playing in a 3-person league?" Like,
right?
No,
Yeah,
this is
8-team mock draft on Yahoo.
Welcome to the new age, baby.
This looks like my dad's office league.
Yeah.
Okay, couple things I wanted to hit on in this range. Davis brought it up in the chat here. Blake brought it up in the chat here. The Jacobs back one, by the way. This is very interesting one. I have the tweet pulled up here from 32 Beat. There was one from this Vincent. I have no idea how to say his last name. Bonsignor, maybe nailed it. But he was basically saying growing sense in league circles that Jacobs will be back with the Raiders before season opener. They don't know exactly when, but they think he'll be ready for the Broncos. They think he'll be back for the Broncos, but who knows if he's ready and gets any reps. Then Josh McDaniels had a quote about Zamir improving, and had a quote about, hey, like multiple league sources are saying this. He does not know. He's not updated on the situation, but he thinks he needs to get hit and have some practice time before he could be effective and used in week 1. That's the summary. That's the gist of it. I don't know how much of this is factually correct. It does seem very speculative. And the only report I can find is this Vincent guy, though he is local news and radio for Vegas Nation reporter and Vegas Nation radio, NFL insiders, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. What are you guys making of the Jacobs?
I think 32 beat writers actually handled it well by saying nothing definitive, but some sourced speculation. That is exactly what it is. And then you have Dov Kleeman, who is like the clickbait artist of 2023 for NFL News, tweeting out to everybody who's doing it's over. Jacobs is coming back. Like, that's not what was said. That is straight up not what was said. And to me, nothing has changed. He's still a value. He's still risk. He has not said himself that he's coming back. We have not heard anything from Schefter or from Rapp, who get sourced from the agents themselves, that will tell them that my player is coming back. This is just speculation. I mean, you can do your victory laps because it's a good bet on Jacobs as it is in the mid-third. Like, that's fantastic. But this is not the source to be waving the victory flag over. This is Dov. This is just a local guy.
Okay. Yeah. Neumy, you see similarly here?
Yeah. I mean, the value's still there. And I think it's what I believe, and a lot of people other believe in that. I still think he's going to play week 1. So it really hasn't changed anything in my mind still until we get, like Nez said, actual sourced up from Schefter himself reporting that he's back. I'm still taking him here, and I'm not going to start chasing him up like other people. Like I've already been taking him where you can get him in the late 3rd, sometimes 4th round. So, because I'm still on the stance that he's going to play, and that all these like RBs that hold out right now are still going to be playing at some point in the season, because they just don't have they don't have the leverage at all in these talks. So, yeah.
And I feel similarly about Jonathan Taylor. The Jonathan Taylor news note was obviously didn't play the preseason game. There was the cleanup procedure in quotations on his ankle. He came back to practice, and then he had an excused personal absence that was cleared by the team. And that's why he wasn't at practice or the game over the weekend. So I don't know what that actually means, but that was just the nugget from there. This Jacobs build from Paul looks pretty nice, where you can just, hey, go ahead, take 2 elite wide receivers here, and then just bang out these 2 running backs, 4th round Brees here as well. Okay, give me 1 second. We'll make the pick, and then I got some questions for you guys.
This is shaping up to be a nice pick for us with the top of this queue, like looking like exactly what we need.
Yeah, I agree with you. Christian Watson flirting with coming back to the other side of the board. We saw some adventurous stuff here, like the Andrews Lamar on this side of the board, where it's like, hey, we might not be able to get it like ever again, so just go ahead and take it here. I saw you did it in weekly winners on the weekend there.
Yeah, I did it on the other end.
Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs coming up here. I'm team Mike Will.
I was just gonna say I'm team Mike Will here.
I take London more, but it's 2-1 Mike Will. I don't have anything negative to really say about Mike Will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. So we talked about the Taylor one. Jacobs. Oh, I wanted to do like a little 1v1 thing here because we got some Mixon news. Non-guilty for the first charge. Potentially a second one pending. Not sure. Haven't. I don't know. There's another legal dispute from the off season. Yeah, there's another one about a gun, but his brother-in-law is the guy who might be the greatest. I don't know. I saw a tweet about it, but there is one more thing, just living up to the name, the reputation there, Joe Misdemeanor. Yeah, so we will see. But this looks like a good transition for Mixon. You see Mixon pushed up into the 40s here. I don't know. Where are you guys going with Jacobs, Ramondre, Brees, Najee, Mixon, and ATN? Because I think this is the biggest little clusterfuck we got going right now.
I think people kind of see this as like the dead zone right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I would like say 100% that it is, but I will say with, certainty that I'm like at market on Jacobs, Ramondre, Brees, and Najee, but less on Mixon and ETN, even though I do think ETN is still the running back one there.
We saw all the wide receivers kind of go there, hoping one of them fell back to us. We could do Herbert as a stack. We could pass on that. I don't think we need to go.
I would say Herbert or one of these wideouts.
Maybe
make the call. It's 2 seconds. You make the call here.
Okay. Let's do Christian Kirk and see what happens. Team follow the money.
Yeah.
9th highest played wide receiver in the league there. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. So with those running backs, yeah, they all kind of have like their warts. And right now with Najee and ETN specifically, you have Warren and Bigsby just screaming up draft boards. I don't know that anymore we'll see Jaylen Warren fall past 130 with his nice long run that he just had. Bigsby cannot stop getting talked about enough for a guy that is not the running back one there, and most likely, barring injury, like won't pay off what people want him to do. I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't think ETN is that bad. that Bigsby's just going to come in and take over and take his job.
Right
now, Najee, that's a different story. There is honestly a chance that Warren plays his way into the running back one role in Pittsburgh. Like that is now something that, I mean, it's always been factored in by people, but I mean, it depends. Like if the snap share is what we think, then yeah, Najee's definitely not a good pick, and which is what everybody thinks. And I'm just, it's more like 50-50 in my opinion that happens.
Okay. Yeah. The Jacksonville note I had with Bigsby was the fact that he basically played the entirety of the starters reps over the weekend, including some of the passing down sets that everybody was really concerned. JaMychal Hasty looked like there was more of a 50-50 split last week. The starters didn't necessarily play, but the starting unit with like CJ Beathard, they played 33 snaps and Tank played 27 of them. So it did look like he was like the clear kind of guy. He had 13 carries and he ran 10 routes on the 27. So yeah, I mean, I can see the push up there and the reasoning why people are a little more like down on the ETN, but we haven't seen much ETN yet, right? So yeah, this range is like, I agree with you on the Najee and versus Warren one, that like Warren feels like he has a better chance of supplanting Najee than Tank does of supplanting ETN. That kind of is like a good summary of what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting what we're doing in this range, because like maybe 2 weeks ago, Jacobs was probably our least favorite of this group. And now I think I'd rather have Jacobs than Ramondre, than Brees, than Mixon and Etienne.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. I'm really this new Stevenson price though is like really awesome. For Najee being there and not Lenny and not Dalvin, which like were two of the potential suitors for that RB2 spot in New England. That's pretty nice. I really want to load up on 30 plus Ramondre Stevenson for a guy that's going to have the pass catching role, scored from the one in the preseason, and is like so much better than Ezekiel Elliott. This is definitely something to take advantage of.
Are you guys not scared of the fact that Zeke is wearing number 15? Are you guys not scared that he has gone to a wide receiver's number?
I did not go into number narrative street. I did not go down that alley.
Are you not concerned that he came out for his first practice with long sleeves and long shirt, not showing the midriff, thus showing that his humility, he has come back down to earth. The ego is no longer there.
15 does kind of slim him out a little bit.
Yeah, it does, right?
It's not. Yeah, it's not his usual number. 15 is a nice long number. Like, she's trying to look a little slender out there. That's definitely something to consider.
I had the opposite issue when I was playing baseball when I was young. So my dad told me to wear 44 because it would make me look thicker, make me look wider.
44 does. Yeah, you look like you. I feel like if you wear a number in the 40s, you're obligated to have a neck roll. you have to have that. It's just
we just saw one of the cover boys go there. J.K. Dobbins and Pierce are right here. I like these guys. Like, I like Ken Walker. Maybe it's just because we haven't seen anything for him. Charbonnet started over DJ Dallas this game, thus ending the potential, hey, look where he is on the depth chart BS there. But, like, I can see more certainty in this next tier of running back than I can in the Ramondre through Brees one. And I kind of am a big proponent of, like, punting running back through this range now, doing something like we did, maybe even taking wide receiver instead of Taylor here, and then catching the back end of one of like these 5 running backs in Madison, Pierce, Dobbins, Walker, and Jones.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been opting for lately. Let's see here. This is sort of a tough pick here.
It is.
I do like Dotson a lot.
Okay. I don't take a ton of Dotson. I was gonna be it'd be Addison or Brown for me.
Dotson gives us week 17, right? Or am I dumb?
Yeah, with CMC with for sure. Fran. Yeah, I'm slowly growing on Jahan Dotson. To me, this is just like a skill play. Like what we saw from him last year was just really impressive. A mix of being able to run real routes and also like have like really strong yak ability. And if Sam Howell is competent, I think that this is going to end up being one of the better picks in drafts right now is Dotson. It's just so hard for me to get to him as much as I wish I was. I'm like at market right now. I would like to get that into like 11% if I could at this point. But I think Dotson's just really good. He's just a fun player.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch tonight and see what they do. I hope the starters play for both sides. It's Ravens Commanders tonight. So
okay.
I hope we see a little more clarity when we see some of that. What are we doing with this next pick here? Javonte did not play third downs. That was kind of like a big note for me. Let's make the pick first. What do you guys think? I don't think we need running back. I think we could just go ahead and take Addison here and shoot the moon at wide receiver after we have like the 2 anchor running backs.
This is in my opinion, a good place to take Addison. Neumy, I'm sure you don't disagree, right?
No.
This is a really nice place to take Addison because like with the rookies, this is like somebody that you really do have to kind of anticipate starting out a little slow. And the fact that he's our wide receiver 5, we are able to take whatever slow start may come for Addison if he does.
And I don't believe the FUD of any of this. He's wide receiver 3, he's behind KJ. We saw what Justin Jefferson was out of his rookie year, he wasn't even the wide receiver one. It took like 3-4 weeks until finally they realized, hey, if we get this guy the ball like a wide receiver one, good things may happen. That happened. They're like, oh, he's our wide receiver. Like we literally out of the pride for Adam Thielen. Now it's much different when you have but it's just he's going to supplant himself as the number 2 weapon, or at least wide receiver. Could be 3 right behind Hawk. But yeah, I love Addison here, and I love having him on a team like you guys saying with 4 wideouts. So you can, if he does come on slow or it takes him a little bit with a rookie coming on
far back, right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Let's talk about a couple guys in this range. I want to talk about Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts only played 9 of the 17 starter snaps this weekend. They were basically all route running ones. He ran the most routes out of the tight end. He ran 5 of them. He had 1 target on that. They lined up in the slot a couple times, this sort of thing. When they shifted to 12 personnel, though, they bring in 2 other tight ends. And the reason I think this is kind of important, I normally wouldn't really care, is with Arthur Smith coming from that Tennessee stuff where they did so much with multiple tight ends and this sort of thing, he's brought over his guys. You know, he's brought over Jonnu Smith and Michael Pruitt with the Y. But he's brought them both over. And now I'm like low key, like if they're establishing the fuck out of it, he wasn't part of the grouping that drafted Pitts, right? And now he's brought in his bully ball tight ends that he knows can block the shit out of things and then catch in short yardage. I'm getting a little scared on my Kyle Pitts exposure right now. And then you couple that with all the glowing reports of Darren Waller running all these nice routes. He had 30 yards with 3 catches. He had 4 targets on the 1 drive that he played last time out. I don't know, man. Is this just preseason smoke and empty FUD and we should still be just going talent with Kyle Pitts? Or should we really be flipping it like the market's flipping it right now and getting excited about Darren Waller and down on Kyle Pitts?
I get being higher on Darren Waller than Kyle Pitts. That is totally valid, and I have no issues with that. That was like shout out to the Darren Waller drafters before the flipping took place. And I mean, he's about to flip TJ Hawkinson at that. That makes a lot of sense. Waller is really easy to stack, and he's much more. I mean, who wants to stack Kyle Pitts? Period. Like nobody. But Darren Waller, you get a really nice QB that projects really well in like the 10th round or 9th, 10th round. Like he makes a lot of sense to set up. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the Kyle Pitts stuff goes, I guess, man, like maybe it's just like willful ignorance, but like I don't care that he only played 50% of snaps in the preseason. I do not care. The first bit of FUD around Kyle Pitts was we are underestimating how bad his injury is. Like that ETR pod came out and everyone was, oh my God, I'm spooked on Kyle Pitts. Why isn't he practicing? Now he's dressing and playing in preseason, and oh no, well he didn't play all the snaps. Like, I don't care.
It's fair.
It's the tight end position. He's the number 2 like in targets on this team. All of his rate stats are out of this world. 1,000 yards receiving his rookie season. Like, I'm buying the dip. Like, this is somebody that I'm doubling down on. I have a lot already, and and anytime that he follows me in the 80s, like, I'm just going to continue to scoop him up. I just, to me, I just don't know, like, what changed for drafters that we're now less in on Kyle Pitts when the offense is better.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's fair. Yeah. I mean, there's well said there. Couple other guys on my talking sheet there. We touched briefly on Javonte. I mean, like this guy is 9 months removed from ACL, and he's already out there playing. P. Ryan playing third downs doesn't concern me so much. I'm going to talk through this pick because I definitively know who I want, and I think he should be going 2 rounds higher than this.
Make your pick.
This is Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton could be better than Jerry Jeudy this year. Yeah. Like legitimately could be. And like within range of outcomes, it's basically making the same bet. Maybe he's slightly less talented. I don't know. He didn't come off the field with the starters this weekend. He played all 27 starter snaps. Mims rotated in as the third down guy. I think he played 13 or 14 of the 27 starters snaps there. Cortland Sutton is a tear break for me. Like, Treylon's going to miss multiple weeks with the LCL sprain here. Bateman had all the pup stuff. I'm still buying Bateman. Like, Bateman, I think, is a little suppressed here. Michael Thomas, like, there's been some really weird quotes about him looking completely absent, looking bad. Then all of a sudden he pops. Then he looks bad again from beats. And then Kadarius Toney has so much FUD around him just in general, plus the injury. And Sutton goes in this exact same range, right? Where we're dealing with, maybe timeshare running backs, maybe fringe breakout tight ends, and then a whole bunch of like bear case wide receivers. Like, Sutton, I can't really paint a narrative for being bad. Everything about Sutton and his arrow is pointing straight up for me. So I just don't think he belongs in this same range as these guys.
Yeah, it's kind of silly.
Yeah, I agree.
We're up again, but
oh my goodness, life comes at you fast. There's your Jaylen Warren inside 100, pick 70, pick 97. Yeah. We could do Anthony Richardson and kind of set up maybe a back stack or just kind of like a naked quarterback move. We could just take Evan Ingram and make a mini Jags bet.
He'd be with Taylor, so at least that's.
I like Richardson.
Cool. Okay, let's do it.
Alec Pierce is another guy that goes too late.
Yep, agreed. Had a nice reception in not this week's game, but last week's game. Actually, while the Jags are staring me in the face, Nathan Rourke is coming for that QB2 role. Former BC Lion, balling the F out in the preseason. He is coming for supplanting CJ Beathard. If CJ Beathard's didn't have family lineage in the game of NFL and just get the sympathy treatment to be bounced around the league as a perennial backup because of who his parents were, Nathan Rourke's the guy you need.
Dude, Rourke looks awesome.
He does look fun.
He passes the eye test, man. Like, he's got some nice core balance. I mean, that I will never get over that touchdown throw that he made where he avoided the sack, found the guy, put it on a dot.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that teams around the NFL are looking at that like, damn, like maybe we look into Rourke if if you're the Falcons, like maybe Ritter sucks. Like maybe we need Nathan Rourke.
Yeah. Oh man. I wanted to look at the Javonte one again. Oh, sorry, I misspoke. The Cortland Sutton was 23 snaps of the total offense, and there was 23 of 23, not 27 of 27. The starting unit only played 23 snaps there. Another one there is another bad week for Greg Dulcich. I mean, he just dropping in the snaps. Troutman keeps working over him. I don't know what to make of it, but yeah,
that one's different than Pitts, I think, just because like the draft capital and the players are just like, I think we can admit that they are different players. Greg Dulcich had a very nice rookie season. He looked good, but the fact of the matter is that Greg Dulcich to Kyle Pitts is just like different. It's just very different. And Troutman is a Peyton guy as well.
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
Yeah, so, Peyton brought in this guy, doesn't have a head, and Dulcich doesn't have a head coach fantasizing about his hair. So, you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, his hair, and it instantly gets playing time apparently. So, it doesn't have that connection there. So,
I think this is a good dip to buy though with Dulcich though. The fact of the matter is that he's a good receiver, and we need them to run more routes, but this new price I think is fair, and it's not like I'm not touching him. This is a pretty nice range. He gets the Chargers in week 17, potential shootout in that matchup. Just getting access to that game environment, it could be beneficial. He's still really talented with the ball in his hands, and but the new price is warranted.
Okay. The other one I want to talk on was the Samaje Perine versus Javonte Williams. I mean, Javonte Williams is not going to be 70-80% bell cow type guy, especially coming off the injury as they work him in, blah, blah, blah. What I really like and I was really bullish on was Samaje Perine played basically all of the third downs and he had 0 targets. On the flip side, Javonte Williams ran 8 routes and had 5 targets on 13 snaps. I mean, that's pretty encouraging right there from my guy.
Did he run like a wheel route as well, or they split him out wide? I think maybe it was, and he ran like a curl route. Like this dude was involved. I don't. This is what we were kind of anticipating when he was like not like I'm still surprised that you can get him at 80. To be honest, I still really do think that he's gonna end up being like the like no brainer type of pick. Looking back on things. This is what we wanted to see, man. This is what like they're not like they are babying him back in, but they're not afraid to use him. Like they're clearly not scared of his health. He's playing in the preseason and running routes and like diving for footballs. This is good. This is good. There goes Tank.
Yeah. Another one that's the ambiguity of the Miami situation again coming up here with a potential A-chain pick for us, or who are you guys liking in this range?
Not A-chain.
Okay, perfect. We've yet to have a tight end. We could do like the Dalton Kincaid thing.
Kincaid is intriguing, dude.
Yeah?
Kincaid is very intriguing.
If you say the name, I might take him here. Give me the case. Is there anybody else on here that you guys would like to make a case for instead?
I like Jameson Williams, but I feel like I'm not allowed to say his name anymore.
No, you're not.
That's fair. Danny Dimes. Do you want to? Who's our other quarterback?
AR-15.
You know what?
Yeah, I love this pairing. I do this a lot.
Yeah, I like this pairing. I like this pairing more than trying to catch lightning in a bottle with Kincaid when we can just wait and take like Laporta in 2 rounds.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The Kincaid stuff though is super intriguing though, because they're like, why would we why waste a pick on one of these like mid receivers when like we can just make Dalton Kincaid our slot receiver? Like,
yep, it's fair. Yeah. And then the absence of Isaiah McKenzie, like that might matter. Hey, speaking of Isaiah McKenzie, he sat out with the starters, which is kind of like a little bit of a thumbs up there. And I don't see anyone drafting Isaiah McKenzie as a backstack option.
No, nobody. That's with the Colts.
Yeah. So I mean, just a potential little Richardson backstack with us. With our
no one's drafting Downs. However, like that does kind of, but still, that doesn't make me want to draft Downs now, obviously. But there's still a chance that Downs could play his way into that McKenzie role because McKenzie's not like spectacular, but he's the quintessential little slot receiver.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yes.
Wow. Kendrick Miller in 121.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. So we saw Kendrick come back, Kendrick start, Kendrick play well. He had a nice reception along the left sideline on a little bit of a wheel route, something like that.
Yeah.
They kind of showcased what we think they're going to go. Well, Kincaid comes back to us if we want to just go ahead and do that, or we only have 2 running backs. We could do the Jonathan Williams thing, or Jacoby Myers. I'm really warming up to. Who do you guys like?
I would say Boyd, Kincaid, or Jacoby.
Neumy.
Kincaid or Jamal Williams.
Kincaid it is then.
I'll just give a name. Yeah, I feel way more confident on that than adding a 7th wide out there.
Yeah, we are pretty good at wide out. I do like these names though. Like I think Jacoby's a really like such like a nice little safety blanket for you in this range. Like when you don't know who else to take, like take the good wide receiver that's been good on like the most boring offenses in the last couple of years. On another boring offense.
I was just gonna say, and he goes,
but he showed us that he can do it in the most uninspiring of environments.
Let's talk about the Kendra and Jamal situation.
Yeah.
Kendra missed a couple days with a knee sprain. He was good enough to go, good enough to play in this. The starters started with Jameis in this game, not with Carr. They played 32 total snaps. Kendra played 25 of them. He ran 13 routes. He had 3 targets, and he had 10 carries in that stretch there. There was no Jamal Williams. He had the night off. the way they used Kendre and the way that they used Jamal in the first week, was it, with the starters?
Or just the way Jamal Williams has been used in the last year?
Well, I think it's different now. And people suggesting it might be different because last year they used him as goal line, hyper efficient, early down, like that sort of thing with Jamal. And they kind of did the third down stuff with Swift, right? In years past, he had been more of like the third down guy with Green Bay, right? Like he was kind of the third down, the change of pace, the pass catch, that sort of thing. There's reports suggesting that maybe with New Orleans for those first 3 weeks, they might just go ahead and go Kendre is the guy and he's the change of pace guy and be the pass catching guy, which would be very good for Pete's Kendre bags, but would also be, just very interesting in terms of now how far Kendre's ADP has fallen. It might not correct itself because I got here. You know what? We haven't done the ADP data yet. I made a copy of it. I'm going to share it in the chat so you guys can look along at home. But Kendre Miller over the last week was actually the farthest faller, right? I think that's going to change with this preseason performance.
It should, but like it hasn't yet. I've been in a number of drafts since he made that play, and people still just not chasing the Kendre Miller stuff when he is far and away the best pick at ADP where he goes. I mean, this guy taking him at 121 doesn't give us a chance to look at that. Trader Biggs, man. That is look, I mean, just chasing the Warren and Kendre stuff is this dude loves the preseason.
Yeah, does he ever?
Also, shout out to the drafter in what position is that? Mr. and Mrs. Underpog.
Yeah, Underpog. Yeah, that's a decent name there.
That goes on that makes the list for usernames and very fitting based on the weekend's developments.
Well, okay, I think the definitive list right now is Jewish McCaffrey, Tua Girls 1 Cup, big old Tig old biddies. I think those are like 3 like vying for Mount Rushmore. Then the Bagels, the Underzet, and Checkers Liam are really good.
Yeah.
Now just the straight Neumy. The Neumy one's good. Okay. Let's take Sam Laporta. What do you guys think?
I would probably.
Or do you want to take Gainwell?
I was gonna say Algier.
Okay.
But
all right. You just said all these nice things about Bijan. Let's take Algier. Fine. Let's take Algier because we think he's a mispriced handcuff.
That's basically it, right? And in the range of outcomes that I'm just playing out. We don't know the range of outcomes of the snap shares, but if it is not 75-25 and more 60-40, 55-45, then Algier is he's got a floor that is very nice in this range of running backs where we have Roshan who could be a 0 for a few games. Zeke could not put up points for a few games. I think Algier is the most likeliest to hit to get in our lineup at this point.
Okay. Oh fuck! There goes Pierce.
Wow, this
guy knows what's up. He's just mixing and matching, dude. This guy is buying all the preseason hype and is absolutely dialed into the news right here. He's going James Cook, but then he's buying the trail on. If you had anything written about you over the weekend, Trader Biggs is taking him. Alec Pierce preseason catch. Jalen Hyatt with the preseason touchdown there, kind of over his shoulder. Now he's going. Yep. All right, we just got to get in on this. He took both our stack options too.
Dude, that's messed up.
I like Laporta here. I like putting Laporta and Kincaid together and shooting the moon at tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, Mingo is kind of like the clear WR3 there. He's working over Terrence Marshall. Terrence Marshall kind of banged up. But yeah, Sam Laporta and Gibbs sat out the preseason game number 2, and they've been getting first team reps since day 1. So, I mean, Sam Laporta carried Iowa's offense by himself as a tight end on a very low pass volume team. I think he had like a 41% target share on a team that just never threw the ball. They only gave it to him. It's insane.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of arrows pointing up for Laporta. I do. Oh no, I do wonder if we look back, and not just us, but others, and think that hey, maybe Higbee was the way better pick.
There he is.
Oh, welcome.
There he is. Ooh, drafted with a Mr. Pickles party time. Let's go.
Oh my.
That's fun.
I
shared the.
You know what I mean though? Like with the Higbee's. I mean, just like Higbee not being a rookie. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Where it's like we just play this rookie tight end narrative in our mind, and we know Higbee's role is like set in stone, and he's a guaranteed like 130 points on this roster that we just like need when we're opposed to double tapping rookie tight ends.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. No.
Okay, sorry. Neumy said he just his cat rugged him. Pulled the plug out from his router.
I love it. There are tons of good comments in the chat in which I am not keeping up with. I am sorry today. I've been doing the back and forth between my notes and my whatever. GA saying we have 5 wide receiver 3s. That's legit. That's pretty funny.
Name them.
I posted this one here in the chat. If you guys want to look at the ADP stuff on your lonesome, we'll pull it up after the draft or at the end there. Wow, Nick saying that Higbee is his most drafted player by a lot. He does feel like a safe tight end in that range. Blake said Kedre's been going in the 170s, 180s. Yeah. I mean, if you kept buying the dip on Kendra, it might be very, very advantageous here.
Jordan Love is getting a little bit of steam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he had a very nice preseason series there.
I know. I'm starting to I have some FOMO on Jordan Love and the Packers. I've been like trying to correct that a lot in the form of mostly weekly winners, trying to capture that like what if I'm wrong in there, because you can pair them with like a lot of really good skill positions, and then just do like even if you do Watson, you can still do Reed, Musgrave with Jordan Love. They've got anybody in the NFC North just has a great schedule because they play the NFC North 6 times.
Right. Yeah. You get that Lions and Vikings potential indoor shootouts with bad defenses. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Bears have the chance to put up points as well. But yeah, that's just I think it's going to be a really fun division. But yeah, people are excited. And also I do think there's some merit to the fact that they don't really have anybody else behind Jordan Love too.
That's a good point.
There's no QB controversy at all. They're just like, yep, we are riding or dying with Jordan Love. So for whatever it is,
even like guys in that same range as Love, you could go like, hey, if Derek Carr got benched last year for Jarrett Stidham, like that's where he was at in his career. You don't think Jameis Winston can come in and start a game or two? Like if things go badly for Carr, Brock Purdy, like I know Trey Lance hasn't been good, but like the capital's still there and Sam Darnold is still there. Like Purdy's not set in stone, despite all the comments and everyone. Like Shanahan's like, hey, he'd have to die to not be our quarterback, basically.
Well, he could fucking suck. It's also another factor of it. There's a lot of people that watch the film and are like, this guy's actually not that good, but they're winning games. I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility, right? But like, it's Sean Clifford behind Jordan Love. He's not getting in there. I'll tell you that.
And like there's easy backstacks here. Like Musgrave went way earlier than usual here to Yoda Masters, but like there's easy backstacks for like a Jaden Reed plus like Musgrave there. I kind of think I just like to stack Hodgson's here.
I think so.
Okay. Tank Dell did not play in the second preseason game. A little banged up in practice there, but it might have been an indication that he wouldn't have played anyways. Tajay Spears had a really nice run and scored a touchdown. Kind of liking it as a handcuff move there. Graham Hunt has still not signed, and it's crazy that the best place to sign right now is with the Browns. Literally, the Browns need another running back. They John Kelly, as much as you like him because he's a cool guy, he skateboards in the off season and makes skate videos. It's pretty cool. If you guys don't know this about John Kelly, but John Kelly has not been it so far. I think he has like 17 carries for 41 yards in the preseason.
I didn't even know he was a Brown. I didn't even know who he was until you just said this.
They've been playing. They've played 3 preseason games already, and he's been stuffed in the backfield on like 40+% of his runs. So I mean, John Kelly probably not it. And then who am I missing there? What's his name? Hasn't practiced yet, or hasn't been back to practicing yet, and isn't healthy. Jerome Ford.
Right.
So
yeah, the RB2 right now.
Yeah, so just like so many question marks there. They really need somebody else, I think. Jake Ferguson, and we're done at tight end.
That feels good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, or if you want to do like Deontay Foreman to get another running back here, or we can just kind of like play the new RB2s that aren't getting picked.
Jake Ferguson sat out this week, which is a very good indication that he is their starting tight end because everybody else played.
Yeah, he 100% is.
Yeah.
Shout out Mark for being on that one early.
Yeah, he
loaded the hell up.
Yeah. Yeah, it could just be a 1-for-1 replacement for Dalton Schultz with like an 8-round pick discount.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is probably, unless we wanted 5 would be kind of thin for running backs, but it could be a 5 running back team if you want it to be, if you want to double up on another stack with Danny Dimes.
Yeah, I think I'd maybe want to stack Richardson with a piece, but yes, I think it's a 5 running back team. I think either way, it's a 5 running back team.
Okay.
When you take McCaffrey and Taylor like that, I think it's just a 5 running back team. Maybe we needed another running back in this kind of like middling range, and maybe like instead of Kincaid, if you take like Gainwell, yeah, I don't know. Philly's backfield's an interesting one to talk through. Swift got the sit. Gainwell got the start. It kind of looked like Penny was third in line from the guys that started. Gainwell got like the majority of stuff. Boston Scott then worked in next. Then it was Penny. That could also be like a pseudo sit for Penny.
It could
just
be
in term, like it could be like, hey, like yeah, he got the majority of the work the last week. Now we're just doing this rotation thing, like Sirianni alluded to, right? Not trying to read like too much into that, but Neumy2's back. Good. There you go.
Yeah, but it's weird.
Yeah,
I really didn't. I thought for sure that the Penny smoke was like from the Athletic was simply just that smoke. Like, why, if this guy's healthy, like he's gonna be on the Eagles. I would still be shocked if he's not on the team for week 1. But
yeah, Trey Sermon looked bad, which plays in his favor too. He had a fumble on like his first touch or something like that. So, yeah, Trey Sermon. Yeah, I was about to say TDP, but TDPs, yeah, they're basically interchangeable in my mind. But yeah, Trey Sermon looked bad, which was, I don't know. But Penny, ended up playing more snaps than Scott, despite coming in behind him. He ran more routes. He touched the ball more. Blah blah blah. But I don't know. Like the Penny price tag is kind of just baked in that you're like the lesser of the potential RB1s of like buying it right now. If there's a little bit of a dip, I might.
I'm surprised he's not falling more.
Yeah,
I maybe he will, and it's just taking some time for people to get back into drafts this week. But for him to still go, like he needs to be going where like Jamal Williams and Jerick McKinnon are, in my opinion.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, potentially. I think the ceiling's just so much higher that people are still willing to spend like the 100th pick on him,
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. But well, I do anticipate that falling though.
Yeah.
To be just around Swift is just so strong.
Yeah, right. I got a bunch of other little notes here. CPAT has a soft tissue injury, is week to week. Yeah.
Rip.
Who who else is in this range? I tried to do it by ADP. Oh, Evans working over Brown again for that Cincinnati Bengals backup role. Neither have looked particularly good, but it's been Evans working over him again. I think they both ended up with
the future third string role to the backup to Lenny.
Well, yeah,
that's right.
Lenny is already on the roster. I mean, between the Browns and the Bengals, like Hunt has to go to one of the teams and Lenny has to go to the other one. Like it has to happen. Like it literally has to happen.
You would think.
Yeah. Tutu Atwell had the day off with the starters. I don't know. Does that make him the third wide receiver for the Rams?
I don't know. I'm still Puka over Tutu.
Okay.
Those are some names.
I know.
I'm still Puka over Tutu. Like that's just oh goodness.
Zamir White getting a little bit of fall and FUD here. I mean, he's still the backup. He's still the handcuff. But yeah, he's kind of returning to form. The problem with him is he's a pure handcuff and he has no pass catching role. Chuba had like a little bit of a shoulder bang up, so don't know what's going on there. Deion Jackson actually started after Hall started the previous one. Joshua Kelly has been working over Spiller, but Spiller had a really nice run. Do we buy into some Chris Evans hype here and just add Chris Evans to this team? Is that insane?
I don't think it's insane.
Kareem Hunt?
You can do Hunt, but I've been mixing in Evans.
Okay, let's do Evans.
Typically in the 18th, but we're gonna need at this point. ADP is meaningless at this point for us.
Damn straight it is.
Now, you said you wanted to stack Richardson. I don't necessarily think that that's like a must.
But... Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. No, it doesn't have to be a must. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We could double stack Daniel Jones too, and
that's what I would rather do.
Slayton or Campbell here.
Yeah, like these are really nice options here, but Trader Biggs is going to probably take one of the two. Oh no, there he goes. He's been sniping us all damn day. And then if you, yeah. I mean, for me, it's like I feel so much better about Slayton and Campbell, but way more about Slayton than I do about Downs and McKenzie as potential stacking partners for Richardson. But
okay,
I don't know.
Yeah, Downs has been getting some good camp buzz, but then he played the game and McKenzie did not. So do with that what you will. I think I like Slayton over Campbell.
I do too. Yeah.
I mean, Campbell, the majority of Campbell's career in which he's actually been healthy and playing, this is a double stack. If you take Campbell, he stacks with past Colts.
Yes.
And future Giants. So he's actually a twofold guy. I didn't bring
That's
that
how it works.
Yeah. I don't know. Slayton for me is just like follow the money, follow the veteran experience, follow the whatever. They brought in Campbell, so they obviously kind of like and think there's some untapped potential there. But like the thing with Campbell is he's always played the slot. He's always just been like a slot, a rotational guy, third wide receiver kind of deal. So yeah, I mean, they used him a little bit on the outside, but so far with the Giants, he's been used, which is something they haven't done in the past, or he hasn't done in the past. But yeah, I think I like Slayton over Campbell right now.
I do too. As far as that very crowded and confusing wide receiver room, it's definitely Slayton for me. And Hyatt is going back to like where he was for like the big boards now.
Yeah.
And if Hyatt is going to play a lot, it looks like they're going to play him in the slot. And they're going to use him as like a slot burner type of style. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what this New York Giants offense looks like.
Everybody saw his highlight reel catch. It wasn't like a great ball or anything like that. He ran a seam route, little like flag to the corner. And he kind of like, over the shoulder, like this one had to correct on the ball, made a good play. JSN made a very, very similar catch, but on the other side, and then got dragged down at the 1 yard line. So it wasn't for a touchdown. But both those plays looked eerily similar and eerily athletic on not amazingly thrown balls, but he had a bad drop on the very play before that. So, take the good with the bad because everybody sees the highlight one. Nobody saw the drop one, right? So just for what it's worth.
Not unless it's on prime time.
Right. Yeah.
You drop a ball in prime time. That's like dropping 10 passes in real life.
Damn straight it is. Yeah. Baby Stevie Gassi, when we have no insider information on BR week 1, but we are speculating as soon as that. I know that they're experimenting with the notion that maybe they should drop BR later in the week than they were last year. So last year it was Monday Night Football started, and then all the sickos were like, "Oh yeah, the contest is live," and then we would all jump in. Baby Stevie's well aware of this, but just articulating for everybody who's watching. This year might be a little bit pushed back and like drop on like a Tuesday or something like that. Just food for thought. But by the sounds of it, it'll be the Tuesday of the opening week kind of deal. But that's pure speculation.
Getting excited.
Yeah, me too. Best Ball Viper. Hey, shout out Best Ball Viper and Asset rocking the shirts this weekend.
Oh, that was so sick.
That was so cool. Yeah, they sent out a sweet tweet. So big shouts to those guys. Yeah, friends and family Bulldog. There's an idea. Maybe chop a team between us or whatever.
Ooh. Does he mean like everybody in a lobby or everybody like organize and share one? I'm assuming.
I imagine everybody in a lobby. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like absolute just hell.
Chaos. Bad ROI.
That sounds like the worst ROI lobby that's going to be in that content.
I like this shout, James Cook, most underdrafted. I mean, I think the fear there is that the goal line work will not be there. Higbee, Juwan Johnson, and Andrews as highest exposed tight ends. So kind of in lockstep with Nick's Higbee take as well. I like that. Who do we want for our last running back here? We can keep going back to the Kareem Hunt and Lenny well, but it gets scarier and scarier by the day. Malik Davis, there's some FUD that he's not even the second running back there.
Yeah, you passed up on the Dallas Cowboys RB2.
Yeah, Rico? Or Deuce?
Deuce, baby.
I don't know. Rico's getting more love than Deuce. I mean, Deuce looked kind of nice in like one series. We got the CEH decision. Chase Brown, we could handcuff the shit out of it.
No.
How about Williams?
That's fine.
Let's do it.
Karen Williams is an interesting one because it's like they have a running back who had an Achilles tear, who they tried to trade, and then they didn't like, so they just played him because they had to, kind of deal, right? Like that's literally the career arc of Cam Akers. And now they're saying, oh yeah, we like Cam Akers. But like all the narrative last year was, hey, when Williams comes back, he's going to be our starter, right? And then he came back, took one special team rep before he could even get on the field as the starter, got hurt. I don't know. What if Williams is the guy that they drafted the year before that they actually want to be the running back, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know that Kieran Williams is good. Is the
that's
thing.
Fair.
But all the reports are that he's the RB2 and that he's going to be rotated in with Cam Akers. Mm-hmm. I've been back in this range now. What I've been doing is I have been doing more Deuce Vaughn. I've been doing a lot of Keontae Ingram as of late as well, because he seems to be solidified as the RB2 in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and Chris Evans as we've already taken here.
Okay. Yeah, I could get on board with it. What about TDP? Anybody mixing in TDP yet?
No way.
Worked with the starters this weekend and stuff. I mean, the other guys were inactive, obviously, CMC and what's his name?
Jordan Mason.
No, other one. Elijah Mitchell. Yeah, so they're both inactive, and then TDP started over Jordan Mason, despite Jordan Mason starting the previous week, but then took all the reps with the starters, and then came in for like the third or the fourth drive. I don't know if it's noteworthy or not, but just a name. They did spend a little bit of capital on TDP last year. I mean, it wasn't crazy, but
yeah, I just think Elijah Mitchell, once he's healthy, is the RB2, and it's like CMC, Elijah Mitchell, and nobody else.
Yep, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I kind of just totally agree. I'm just flirting ideas here. Joshua Kelly, as we alluded to, worked over Palmer Palmer. Joshua Kelly and Palmer worked over Spiller.
Yeah.
I had some other ones. Michael Mayer not really factoring in the tight end reps. Austin Hooper was getting his first looks there. They kind of shared duties. They only had 9 snaps as an offense with the quote unquote starters out there. But Michael Mayer played 5 of them and Hooper played 3 of them. So do with that what you will. Yeah, I had a couple other notes on here. Felton, if nobody signs Kareem Hunt, aka the Browns don't sign Kareem Hunt, should we be mixing in Felton? He's looked better than John Kelly in the preseason.
It's probably worth a look, but
yeah,
for me, I have like my guys that I'm like tethered to at this range, and like I said, it's Chris Evans right now is the clear RB2 in the Bengals camp, and I'm doing the Spiller stuff, dude.
Okay,
I think Spiller's better than Joshua Kelly, and I mean, it's pure contingency value, but just having that role in the Chargers offense and potentially getting mixed in here and there, because Eckler's not a bell cow, it could potentially hold some value there. I like that we are seeing him in the preseason, and I like that he is doing good things in the preseason. You know, that's like you don't want Isaiah Spiller looking bad. If you have a man crush on an RB3 for some reason on a football team, the one thing you don't want them to do is look bad in the preseason. And he doesn't, and in fact, he kind of looks a little good. So
okay, I like it.
Do you want another deep dive? Like really deep dive?
Sure. Yes, absolutely.
Picture this. Najee Harris. Damn, he's down. All right, here we go. It's Jaylen Warren time. Jaylen Warren gets a little shaken up. He's hopping off the field.
If you say Anthony McFarland, I'm just gonna leave.
They can't stop talking about Anthony McFarland.
Oh no. For real? I've heard this narrative before.
Dude, Anthony McFarland keeps making defenders look silly. That is all the reporters keep saying. That's all they keep saying. So maybe not in your best ball draft, but in that 1 week 11 game, Warren's a legit questionable. Najee's ruled out early.
Yep.
Anthony McFarland? Who wants some?
I think we did this last year, and we did on one of the showdown slates that McFarland looked like he was going to factor in as the backup, and then he was a surprise inactive, even with the injuries in front of him.
Yeah, because it was like Benny Snell, I think.
Yeah, it was Benny Snell off the practice squad, and then he was the surprise inactive.
Yeah, Benny Snell football.
Maybe Benny Snell's the guy you
need. Yeah, maybe.
Where is he even playing anymore?
No, I don't know.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure
he's somewhere.
He's a Lion.
Yeah.
Oh my.
All right, let's tie a bow on this one. Talk about ADP for a second, and then maybe do like a 5-minute baseball thing, because I know Nez takes is up, so I know he's maybe got some takes here as well, just to set the scene for the day for MLB. We did a 2-5-8-3 with Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones, CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Algier, Chris Evans, Kieran Williams. Probably the thinnest running back room I've done this year, I think, maybe.
Definitely thin, but top heavy. What do you win when you win, baby?
Yeah, I'm straight. Devontae Smith, Mike Williams, Christian Kirk, Juwan Dotson, Jordan Addison, Cortland Sutton, Isaiah Hodgson, Darius Slayton. I mean, maybe this team plays a little bit better as instead of being stacked, you add a 6th running back to it, but I kind of like it. I think that's like a pretty good wide receiver room of like nobody jumps off the page, but I can see paths to all, the last 5 of these guys. I can see paths,
This is a sick wide receiver room. You have nothing to worry about with these wide receivers.
Yeah, that's fair. Dalton Kincaid, Sam Laporta, and Jake Ferguson just drinking all the fucking preseason Kool-Aid in the world in this tight end room, and just hoping we're right there with one of them. We're gonna be hurting for usable weeks in theory, but if Sam Laporta's the dog that we think he is, or Dalton Kincaid finds his way and Ferguson is actually the starter, could be kind of fun. What do you guys think?
Love this team.
Yeah,
I love this team.
Neumy?
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah.
Neumy one would never be muted.
You son of a
Neumy one.
No, yeah. I don't hate it at all. I don't know. I mean, I like the two anchors right there, and I'm fine with the RBs in the back. So yeah, I don't hate it at all.
Like it. All right. Actually, now that I said Neumy one, I'm thinking of names that we need on the site. We need a Herzag instead of Zig. That'd be a good one. We need a Nez fakes. Nez fakes.
We need Roto walk. I know.
Yeah,
that.
Roto walk. Yeah, Roto walk. Dude, we need someone to just be spreadsheet virgin and then someone to be spreadsheet Chad. That's what we need. Like, I can't believe nobody's
spreadsheet version, and then like I test Chad.
Is spreadsheet version Chris?
There you go. Yeah.
Is that
grinder Chad?
Is that because Chris's name we're giving him, and then spreadsheet Chad is just legit Chad?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. All right. Fun draft there. I want to bring up the ADP stuff. ADP chasing is on right now too, so you're probably getting your fill of ADP on the side screen and or later as well. But we will bring it up. I'll drop it again in the chat. This is Underdog's official update from August 14th to August 21. We talked about Greg Dulcich and why he's sliding. John Mechie sliding because of Tank Dell basically rising, and some of the concerns still around him. The Taysom one, I think, is in lockstep with the fact that in the preseason we haven't seen anything, and the running backs are kind of boosting right now. Like Kendry's looking kind of nice, and people are getting bullish about Jamal, and the Kamara suspension wasn't as long as we thought, so he's not falling. Jerome Ford, we just haven't seen it and hasn't been playing, so they might go another way with backup running back there if they don't think Felton and or John Kelly is the guy there. They might have someone who's not on the roster dressed as their RB2 for week 1, and I just don't see. They must hate Kareem Hunt, or Kareem Hunt thinks he can get.
There must be some
money.
bad blood there, dude.
There must be some bad blood. I don't know. Maybe Kareem Hunt thinks he can get a better opportunity or something. I don't know. I'm gonna post that there so people can click through it at their own rate. I noticed a private chat. If you guys just say it out loud, because I have no idea. I'm clicking on other things right now. Treylon injury. That one. Brees with the Cook news all makes sense. Rondell Moore because of the slot FUD there. Khalil Shakur because other people in Buffalo camp are getting hyped. Hardy is getting some big hype there. Our guy Schroeder looks like jacked ass Kyle Pitts. Anyone you guys want to mention here? There's the Penny one. 7 spots over the week, and then the preseason game is not going to do him any favors as well. Anyone you guys want to hit on that we haven't yet?
My guy JMO down 10 spots because he's not going to play in the first 6 games, which is a new development. So you got to drop him the whole round for that. So I have no choice but to double down and continue to take him at a 1 in 4 draft, every 4 draft clip. So wish me luck.
Feels like Grayson Rodriguez all over again for you.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Grayson might be the guy you need.
Hey, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I like it.
Shades of
that's a good comp, Neumy. That is a good comp.
They gave me comp guy creds today. I walked up to the counter and they go, you're going to be comp guy today. Sorry.
and the burst ball is obviously, like, in my opinion, really tasty too. I'm not, he seems legit questionable for week 1, but at this price, like, that's baked in. If he's playing week 1, then he's going to go up to like pick 80.
The difference with the Treylon one and the Jameson Williams one, apart from the suspension, just throw that out the window for a second, is they have professional wide receivers in Detroit that could literally just be good enough to just not need Jameson Williams later in the year if they're fighting for a playoff spot, right?
I don't know. I don't think.
Well,
they're good. They're good enough for now. But
sure, yeah. But like Josh Reynolds and
Marvin Jones.
Why am I blanking on Marvin Jones? Yeah. Marvin Jones and stuff like that. Like they're not getting enough love for if we think that team is going to be like up tempo scoring points, blah, 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 and actually kind of good. And then if Jameson Williams just like he's injured for this window, he's not allowed to train with the team when he's suspended. So like, how's he going to do his rehab and that sort of stuff? Like, obviously they're going to set something up like outside of that, but it's not going to be as good as if he was with the team, right? Like that's kind of like a fair statement. Anyways, I'm just kind of like thinking through like range of outcome there.
But where I would just, I mean, like, you know, that's obviously like those guys are undervalued, like straight up, period. Reynolds and Marvin Jones are undervalued in underdog drafts right now because at least in the first 6 weeks, they have a chance to give you some like usable weeks and potentially even after the fact because they are likely to be in shootouts. But I would just push back and say, just based on what I know of Jameson Williams, is that he's going to probably play his way over them. I just think that he is better at football than those two. It's just it's the nut low run out for JMO this season. And there's no denying that. I'm not saying I'm not trying to say people are dumb for fading him or that this dip is unwarranted. I'm just going on what I know. And what I know is that Jameson Williams is good at football. And I want to capitalize on that.
Yep. That's fair. I mean, that's fair. There was and then to tie it into the Treylon one, because like the point was the Treylon fall for me is there's no one who's going to like supplant him while he's gone. Whereas the Lions, I could see someone, you know, stepping up like professional wide receiver, blah, blah, blah. There's no one on the Titans roster. Like Westbrook-Ikhine is not just going to be the dude, and Treylon's injury is, he misses the first 2 weeks. And then it's like, Westbrook-Ikhine is like the guy you need. Right. There's actually a little bit of that potential on the Lions versus potential on the Titans is kind of all I was alluding to.
Yeah, I would say it's more so in JMO's court, right? Where maybe he doesn't like you said, he doesn't rehab. He doesn't take his rehab as seriously as he should. Which, I mean, not to like paint a broad brush, but to get suspended for gambling in the facilities, he might not be a great decision maker. So there's a chance that he is not, that he, you know, that Dan Campbell seems like a no bullshit type of guy. And if there's any inclination that JMO's not taking his rehab seriously outside, like, he could absolutely be like, no, you're not seeing the field. Like, F you don't take this team seriously. And I'm in the business of biting off kneecaps. They could end up like not being a good match. That's definitely in the range of outcomes.
Okay. Yep. Before we do the followers, Nez has sent me some Anthony McFarland propaganda.
Whoa, how did that get in the private chat? I did not mean to send this. Whoa. Full screen that and press play?
We're getting some Anthony McFarland propaganda. Can you still see it when I go full screen here?
Oh, we can see it perfect.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, hold on. Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen on this play. I have not seen this. We got press man up here, the top left. We got a single wide receiver set. We got 2 tight ends blocking on this lower edge here. It looks like this corner. It looks like this corner is going to step up too soon and whiff on a tackle, and he's going to go through the B gap here. He's going to go B gap, make this guy miss, and score on the outside hash over here or something stupid.
Jeez, what a loaded box. Oh, it cuts the edge. No one can get him. Oh, God damn, that dude is
That doesn't even do your case justice, dude.
Sure it does. He's fast as fuck.
Look at this thing. Look at this. Whoa. Okay, so look at this misread here. We got hat on hat. You do not step up to close the B gap here. You got to flank to the outside like this. He steps up and just gets beat in a one-on-one. This is not Anthony McFarland being good.
Hater. Oh, boy, the Steelers have an embarrassment of riches in that backfield. It's just...
Dude, I honestly think I could have scored that.
Oh, you have that speed off the edge? Uh-huh.
Oh. You don't think I got that Anthony McFarland burst?
You're like the boss out here, man.
This is good. That was funny.
You absolutely can't trust me with my Steeler takes. I'm very level-headed.
Paid bringing up that the Corey Davis is still so low. With other Jets falling. I mean, could be a top 2 wide receiver there. If you play the hashtag follow the money narrative, I mean, he's a top 15, top 12 paid wide receiver in the league now still. I mean, you want to talk about professional wide receivers? We haven't seen it in a while, and he might just be dust, but yeah.
It's just the fact that they brought in Alan Lazard, of course, and it's like Aaron Rodgers has seemingly handpicked this offense. Which I think is like a fair read by the market, but Corey Davis is still there, and at the worst, he's going to be there on 3 wide receiver sets.
Yep, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, and they've also brought in like he brought back Randall Cobb, obviously, like he's handpicking like his guys, right? So some truth to it. Tank Dell, we talked about moving up there. Deuce Vaughn moving up, both with what is
the Tank Dell stuff.
I mean, he had one nice preseason game, and then he gets the night off.
He had one nice preseason game. He weighs 150 pounds, and he's the wide receiver 3, maybe wide receiver 4 in Houston
on a
team
offense.
On a team that's going to suck.
Yeah,
it's the name, and I cannot get behind that ADP at all.
Okay,
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I agree with you there.
The Deuce Vaughn one, we've talked about him. How he's the smallest man alive, and they drafted him because his dad's the coach there and whatever. But we've also talked about the fact that he was one of the most productive dudes in the history of college football. Literally like on par with like CMC. So if you can overlook the size stuff, and he becomes Deuce Vaughn slowly becoming
Deuce Vaughn on par with CMC. Something I did not think I was going to hear.
He's slowly becoming. I'm gonna find the tweet, but he's slowly becoming like the way the market treated Tony Pollard in the past. Like everyone wants to get excited about a Cowboys backup, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, they are not bringing anybody in by the looks of it.
Okay. I'm gonna look up the tweet here in a second as we're talking through this. Zeke notably up, name value coupled with finally having a landing spot. We're going to see the same thing if and when Lenny and Hunt sign. Khalil Herbert getting a big rise into the top 100. He looks like he's going to be the front end running back there. Juwan Johnson getting a boost there. The Mostert one, I guess people are just like looking at projections now because a lot of the models just project Mostert so much better than everybody else. I just want to say for the record that I think I'm Jeff Wilson. I would take 1v1 fantasy points this season, Mostert versus Wilson, and I would take Wilson.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm both of those guys over Devon Achane right now. I mean,
you mean price adjusted or just in general?
Dude, like in a vacuum.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
I mean, these guys, the downside with these two dudes, I posted in our private chat, by the way, John, those Deuce Vaughn stats.
That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
These running backs, they're injury prone. Like, so if they do get injured, then Devon Achane step right up. But until that point, these guys are still good running backs, good enough running backs in a really, really good offense that are probably going to see the field more than him.
I like it. Okay, can you guys see that?
Well, sure can.
Okay, since 2015, there's only 4 Power 5 running backs to average at least 100 yards rushing per game and 35 receiving yards in a single season. McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, Deuce Vaughn. So, I mean, it's so fun. Top running back seasons by YFS. What's that?
Well, look at these names.
I don't even know what YFS is. Should I know what YFS is?
What is that? What does that mean? Yards
fantasy season. I don't know, but there's some really good names on that list, and Deuce Vaughn's is kind of close to it. Okay, what's the next one?
Yards per route run.
Okay, we got yards per route run, Power 5 only, minimum of 140 routes. Gibbs and Deuce Vaughn being like 2 of the best pass catching running backs ever. All right. Yeah.
Do you know this one?
Yards per target over expectation.
Yes.
Yeah. Gibbs, Deuce Vaughn, with a bunch of good names again. I mean, they're just a bunch of nice things about Deuce Vaughn.
Thank you, Ghost. Yards from scrimmage.
What was it?
Yards from scrimmage.
Oh, it was just total yards from scrimmage? Oh, okay. Got it. Cool. We should have been able to figure that one out. We are dumb. Yeah. Any last notes on any of these names? We've talked about Gainwell to death. We talked about the Ferguson. Musgrave, we're having FOMO over Green Bay offense a little bit. Darren Waller kind of just continuing to push makes sense. So does James Cook. So does Jalen Warren.
Quick little victory lap for the Khalil Herbert and Jalen Warren stuff for your boy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Those are two of my highest running backs
yep.
this year. So feel good about that. If you were watching the show and you trust me, hopefully you got some bags as well.
There you go. Nez Fakes at Nez Fakes.
Boo.
Yeah. Yo, GM Chad, what's good? What's good? You missed a beautiful BBM draft.
John, do they do car inspections up in Canada?
Like before you pre-buy?
Like you got like in America, in some states, we got to get our cars inspected like once a year.
Oh no. They used to do like an insurance one where if you had a car over like 15 years old or something, then you had to get it inspected. You don't have to do that anymore.
Gotcha. I was just mentioning that I do have to get my car inspected at 1:15. So if we are going to do some baseball talk, just an FYI. Let's do it rapid. Let's do baseball rapid quick here because we're going to do baseball tomorrow. We're going to talk about all the dinger stuff. We got some good data from Tuma, obviously. We got a bunch of stuff there, but I do want to touch on the slate because it is the greatest slate size in the world, which is 8 games. Yes, it is.
8 games slate with hot and humid temperatures in Atlanta, not a crazy amount of wind, but just looks like great hitting conditions for the best offense in baseball, which seems evergreen at this point, but facing a left-handed pitcher. So it feels even better. Michael Harris has been scratched 2 days in a row, I think now. Yeah. So just
bummer for
FYI.
Those people that were running really good with the Michael Harris stuff. Not me. So
yeah. Anyways, the little snapshot of the slate here. Nez, what do you see?
I like Michael Wacha. Michael, it's like I always do Michael Wacha when he's on these slates. He is ADP of 36.0, faces the Marlins, who are not like a terrible team by any means, but they're in San Diego. I am actually not sure if they're going to play that game now that I think about this. I guess there's no, because didn't the hurricane pass through San Diego?
Yep.
They just canceled the Angels.
Yeah, the Angels and Reds are
So I'm actually like now that I think about it, I guess it's fine. So nothing to worry about there. But anyway,
it's counterpoint
Park. So
counterpoint to you, if there happened to be a hurricane and they played baseball, winds blowing in would be quite favorable for Michael Wacha. So very, very sharp of you to allude that a hurricane would be beneficial to the pitcher.
Our resident San Diego and Brett Boy telling us that they're fine. So I'm glad to hear. Thanks for the and now it is 7 now with the I should update that now that we have that Cincinnati LA Angels postponement early, but that takes Lucas Giolito off of the pitching preferences and leaves us with really thin options at pitcher and a ton of really good options for offenses today. So you can really mix and match however you like. I will do some batter ranks once we get lineups out, but for now, I mean, it's like Braves are a no-brainer. In today, they are extremely popular, as they should be. I like the Red Sox and Rangers quite a bit today too, along with the Mariners going up against Touki Toussaint. So a lot of fun ways to stack
to fall
today.
Off eventually, right?
Yeah, you would certainly think so. And the Cardinals getting Thomas Hatch for the Pirates today. I am assuming he's an opener, but at any rate, Cardinals probably going to pound the Pirates today. So that's another good shout.
Cardinals have kind of turned the corner as of recently. And there's there's a plethora of options for you to stack and move around. They had Alec Burleson hitting up in the lineup all of a sudden the other day. They've had Tommy Edmonds leading off a lot. Tommy Edmonds low-key doing what Ozzie Albies should have done a long, long time ago, and picking and choosing when he switch hits, not just actually switch hitting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very interesting based on how he sees guys, how he's done against guys in the past, but it feels like kind of a straightforward slate in terms of like ADP efficiency. Not like that it is efficient right now, but just in terms of like we're seeing studs at the top, which is like how we should be seeing it. Maybe Tatis is a little too far down for my liking. Goldschmidt a little too far down. There are no hotter players on the planet than Julio Rodriguez and Bobby Witt Jr. So do with that what you will. Yeah, great matchup for Luis Castillo getting 2 starts this week for the fantasy playoffs there. So
there's some loaded 2-start weeks. I kind of outlined them based on what CBS projects for 2 starters. A lot of very popular pitchers in the Dinger getting 2 starts this week. So hopefully that's good news for a lot of the people watching this, that in that large clump of largely on pitchers, you have a good amount of them on your teams. But Zach Gallen, one of them, Luis Castillo, and Blake Snell specifically, 3, and Jordan Montgomery, of course.
This is very interesting here. You alluded to Michael Wacha starting. I'm not seeing a check beside a San Diego pitcher yet, and I'm seeing Blake Snell getting drafted really high. Oh, there he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at this inefficiency in the market that people thought it was Snell day.
I'm seeing Wacha.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Maybe
Fantastic's projections had Snell.
I see Wacha.
Yeah,
I think it's Snell tomorrow or something.
Wow, interesting. Okay, so that's maybe leading to some of the confusion here. So maybe the number 101 takeaway right now is don't draft Blake Snell.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it. That's very interesting. That somebody must have been looking at projection systems a day ahead and is responsible for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Christian Javier, you can always catch lightning in a bottle, but not financial advice. James Paxton, neutralizing lefties against Houston is going to be a good thing because their 2 best players are left-handed. The problem is they both hit lefties almost as well as they hit righties. So
I'm waiting and seeing on Paxton for sure, because Alvarez has not been hitting well. Say what you will about streaks, and Tucker has hardly played this past week.
That's a good point. He did have the out tag for multiple days. So I think one of them was a scratch, and then the next day was a sit out.
Yeah.
So good notes there on potential lineup shakeups that you could see there. All right, beautiful. That's a good little overview of the slate. Do you want to talk to some of the contrarian stacks and or contrarian players that you like so far, or will you do that in your hitter rankings?
I'll probably in the rankings get pretty cheeky with some of the stuff. Right now, it's just like there's just a lot of bad pitchers on the slate. Okay. So I really think you can kind of it's kind of like at your will of who you feel like taking it. One of my leans right now is definitely the Red Sox for sure. I'm so done with Christian Javier, and I'm so done with it that I am like coming around to attacking him anytime that he's on the slate. Devers at 14 to me just feels wrong. Probably should be higher.
Okay. Yeah, he Devers homered yesterday and had a decent back-to-back series there. But series is all of the guys popping for me in my home run projections are from Atlanta. That's not going to be a big surprise to anyone, I guess. I'm going to look for a non-Atlanta bat that I like right now. Ooh, apparently I like Jorge Soler. I have not drafted yet, but apparently I like Jorge Soler for whatever it's worth.
Big beefy baseball boy.
Feel it. Clubhouse is also open, so feel free to check it out.
Oh, perfect. Maybe I didn't know that. Can you send the link and I'll drop it in here? Because your link keeps changing for me. I had it bookmarked and then it was old.
Boom. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just the same thing that Nez did. So you really can just check it out, stack, ranks, yada, yada, pick'ems. Go ahead. The works.
Neumy likes Mariners, Padres, Rangers, Cardinals. Cardinals going against aforementioned Hatch there as an opener. Ryan Weathers' revenge game.
Yeah, I had no idea he was on the Marlins.
Yeah, he got traded at the deadline for Garrett Cooper.
That's how Garrett Cooper wound up on the Padres.
Yeah, former top prospect Ryan Weathers. Going to be dealing with some weathers in San Diego today. Yeah, cool. We've got
shut it down
off the wrist. Just shut the show off.
Yeah, just click the off button.
All right, guys. We got the clubhouse. I'm going to drop the link to the clubhouse in the chat. Nez Takes is simply neztakes.com. So that is there for everybody. Yeah, perfect. We need a Gumby shout. Eh?
Oof. I think I could use that. Use that. I'm pretty sure.
You like to see it. Okay, so ADP was dropped in the chat. The clubhouse is dropped in the chat there. And blah, blah, blah. One last parting question. AD, I'm drafting third in 12-man. Would you take Andrews or an elite QB at the turn or pass on both?
Ooh. Turn. I think I would go. I'd see if Andrews makes it back to you and instead take a running back or a wide receiver with that second round pick.
And then just hope Andrews falls to the third and you can capitalize a little value there.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree.
Love it. You guys are so fucking smart.
We're the sharpest dudes around, baby.
Sharpest dudes. All right. Appreciate everybody hanging out today. Appreciate our new member, Nick Stevens, for joining up there. Appreciate who else do I appreciate? I appreciate Best Ball Viper, an asset for rocking the shirts in downtown Manhattan. Big shouts there. Best of luck to everybody in the MLB streets today. If you're not using or signed up at Underdog Fantasy, the platform of the people, use promo code MLB at sign up and they will 100% match your deposit up to 100 USD. Like the tribute from both of you wearing Under Armour shirts today to our new colleague, Steph Curry, appearing on Gilbert Arenas Arena, Gills Arena.
Not confirmed.
Yeah, not confirmed that he signed anything, but hey, kind of cool to have Steph Curry on an Underdog affiliate program. Pretty sweet there. Any parting words, gentlemen?
See you in the lobbies.
Yeah, like always. I'll see you in the lobbies.
See you in the lobbies. Best of luck today and keep drafting weekly winners and BBM. And the puppy's almost full, or did it fill?
Puppy is almost full.
Close, like 97% or something.
You love to see it. And keep your eyes peeled on the lobbies. Maybe potentially a couple birdies been chirping in my ear that maybe some cool things are coming on Underdog Fantasy. On behalf of Neumy2 and Nez Fakes and Roto Walk, this is everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.